So I did a couple things this morning to try and help me understand where I stood in the market because I'm really confused. I went through my pick list of stocks and tried to gauge whether or not they looked like they wanted to go up or they wanted to go down. And overwhelmingly, the vote was to go up. They are, and not that that's sentiment. I think that the sentiment of the market out there is really pessimistic. Um, and I know there's some indicators that measure sentiment, but I don't watch them closely. Um, but looking at my stocks, they're incredibly oversold, and I just find it really hard to believe they can continue to be oversold at this point. It's just that it seems like what's most healthy for the market right now is to have a slight turn and bounce up a bit. I'm not convinced that it's going to be a wild bounce, although it could be. I'm not convinced it could be. It's a wild bounce. If the shorts out there really are overwhelmingly um, outnumber the longs, and I saw somebody on the news last night saying that there were more shorts in the market than longs, which doesn't make much sense to me. I'm sure I got that not quite right, but if that's the case, that means the sentiment's really really short or really negative, and it's prime time for a short squeeze bounce. So I didn't necessarily take yesterday's 10% gain all that seriously. I mean, I took it seriously, but the volume wasn't low. And to take it seriously, I think you need to see some more follow through today from a broader spectrum. So the volume's got to be much higher. And if that happens, I think we're on the way to a decent bounce. The other thing I did was I went back and looked through history, um, tried to just measure up the market in past times, past falls, to see what our options are, what things have happened in the past, and it's all over the board. One bear market, the '73 bear market, lasted till actually it was a 2 year long bear market, um, and it didn't look very pretty. And if that was the case, and we were mimicking that, we would be halfway through. I'm not sure that quite matches up. Um, but there just seems to be a whole host of different possibilities. We could have a slight bounce and retrace back to the lows, or we could go lower. We could have a really nice bounce, but then retrace back to the lows. I'm thinking that the seriousness of the environment right now is leading me to believe some more of the the direness or the negative outlook. I think that we're going to have more of this over the next year. We're going and again, based on history, I think there's going to be times where we go up for a few months and then come back down for a few months and go up and down and up, and sort of like channel trading. So I want to be prepared, and I think my reversal patterns are probably well aligned for tracking those types of patterns. You just have to be willing to move on a dime. And like yesterday, I think was a good example. If you didn't catch that, early in the afternoon, it was a little bit scary to get into it because it could have turned on a dime. The selling could have came around the 3 or 3:30 and just tore that place apart. Um, and so I guess that's all today. So what am I doing today for trading? I have my list, and I'm not really willing to get in long on the market at open. I'm not really willing to short the market at open. I'm just going to watch and see what happens. Honestly, I think if we had a little bit of a pullback today to levels that made it more attractive to buy, I think I might buy in right now with the idea that we're preparing for a bounce and we're going to go up. If we had another 10% up day, I'd be really tempted to short at the end of the day. I'd be very hard for me not to short after 20% solid gains. You just have to imagine that it's got to be a shorting opportunity, and that it's ridiculous. I don't know. And I have to caveat that too. If we went up another 10% today on really strong volume, I don't. I'd have to probably sit back and watch. It'd be too late for me to get in, and it would be enough of it'd be a signal for me not to short. Right? It seems like it's something real. Um, it'd just be tough. I think it's going to be a mediocre day. I don't think anything major is going to happen. I'm guessing there's going to be a bit of a pullback in the middle of the day, and I'll probably hunker down and buy some stocks.